Okay, and we're live. Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. Hashtag AskSBR. His name is Mike Brenner. My name is Peter Loshak. We are the odds help. Become sportsbookreview.com. This is our live show that we do every day. It's at 10:30 Eastern time. Mike Brenner. Well, you've been hot as hell in NBA. Actually, in both NBA colleges, particularly NBA. Yeah, killing it at NBA, Mike Brenner. You're now back up into double digits. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But we've got
another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
There was a prop bet that when I just said Matty Ice, that reminded me. I wonder if they mentioned Matty Ice more than one.
I don't know.
It was a 1.5.
Yeah,
do you know anything about that, Matt?
No, not. But I remember that was a hilariously, I don't know, bet. Like it seemed like they would.
Yeah.
Way more than that.
Yeah, and I'm wondering. So if any of our viewers know if the announcers at any time said Matty Ice more than once, if you could let us know. I just thought of it when I saw Matt. So okay.
All right. So we got an unusually big slate.
We need to also update him. You're also in his zone, buddy. You have been killing it.
I had some nice calls on UFC 208 though. I told everyone and their mom. I said over in the Anderson Silva. I told you, you know that, right?
I was going to ask you about that.
Oh, I mean, if you watch from all the past 8 UFC videos or whatever, I've said that since Anderson Silva's sort of had a decline in skills that I've been betting overs, and I said that was my top play in UFC 208, and it cashed up pretty easily. I also had the over. Again, it's just totals in every sport. I also
totals. He goes for the decisions. It seems like
now, yes, which
is that because of his age?
Yes,
he's just trying to rock it back.
Yeah. And also, it's because of his reputation, which makes other people more cautious when they fight him, and he knows that he has to be a little bit more cautious.
So then he knows Totals low.
Yeah, and I also had the over in the Chisholm one, and then I did have a winner in the Holly Holm Randomly fight. That was a controversial decision.
Who got the
well,
decision?
Randomly won. There's people you could make it one of those decisions that's debated, controversial, very close fight.
Matty, did you see any of those?
I actually didn't watch it this week. I took kind of the night off from working, but I read about it a lot, and the same thing with the spider. So controversial decision.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the fight, so I cannot say. But.
Is the fix in?
No, I don't know.
And so I had a winner with that one, and then I had a loser with. I took a shot with Cannoneer, which big dog line. All right, so we got. Yeah. So we got a big NBA slate of games and some very interesting stuff in college basketball.
For a Monday night, it is an interesting slate. I just couldn't find anything to pull the trigger on.
Yeah. Well, we got the old Syracuse at home situation against last time this happened against Virginia, they won outright as a dog. Same sort of line here, same sort of situation. I don't know. I didn't have the balls to give it in the show. I think you're right. Louisville's a little bit. It feels like a little bit trappy, but I definitely picked it and bet it at +4. Now it's down to 3.
So I'm leaning Louisville because this is that time of year. I think Pitino is just more focused, and even though Boeheim he's in the dome, man, I don't know. I just
Then I took shots with DePaul +18.5, West Virginia +4.5. Obviously, DePaul already played Villanova tight once this year.
Sure did. That's a lot of points. Dude.
Yeah, 18.5. I mean, they went into Villanova. But then again,
it was Creighton. I think just crushed them
by 40 or whatever it was.
So.
Yeah. And Villanova had kind of an eye-popping double-digit road win at Xavier. So it's
let's just get real about it.
So the line makes sense to me, and I took a shot with it, which is always a good thing. You want the line to make sense, and I took a shot with DePaul +18.5. And then West Virginia and Kansas,
there's another rematch.
Yeah.
Ooh, buddy, that's going to be a battle.
Kansas has just been overvalued in general this year. They have a terrible ATS record, and particularly at home. They're 2-8 ATS at home, which is
I'm thinking
really
on
bad.
that one. I'm thinking the edge might be Kansas in the first half, and then West Virginia on the full game. I'm not going official with it, but something tells me Kansas will show early at home, Pete, the revenge factor.
Yeah.
And then I think that defense of West Virginia will wear that team out in the second half. And Bobby Huggins, again, was 3 games ago. They lost to Oklahoma, came back with 2 big double-digit wins since. And Bobby Huggins said, I'm still not happy. So he is still absolutely just chewing that team up in the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, you may be right. I mean, Kansas, obviously a clearly overvalued team, but also clearly an elite team. So they can, I think you might be right. I took them. I would not take West Virginia in the first half. I took them on the full game, +4.5. Hopefully I'll catch that.
Now, there's that Morgan State Howard, if you will tell our viewers.
I don't know. I mean, I looked at it, I crunched a few numbers, and I thought Morgan State was the play. It was a +1 on the overnight line. Now it's up to +2.
Yeah, wow.
That's my play. I've had a pretty good read on those very, very minor conferences this year in our videos. So I took Morgan State +2. Hopefully they can catch that one.
How about that Appalachian State Georgia Southern game you were talking about in the video?
Yeah, today? I mean, that's a tricky one because Appalachian State coming off of a nice win, and Georgia Southern coming off of a not so great loss. so the line makes a little bit of sense. And I took Georgia Southern. Obviously, I do think Georgia Southern is legitimately a better team, although they did play.
How much did you get on one?
I got 1.5 on the overnight, so I just took it. They did play already once this year in Georgia Southern. It was a close game. Georgia Southern won at home, but just by 4, and Appalachian State covered. So it's a tough one, but
you like those tough ones. I noticed.
Well, I do. I mean,
I
feel like it's
$2 state games.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely.
$2 game.
And the other one I took a shot with South Alabama. I got it at 6.5. Now it's up to 6.5 or 7, which is not a great sign. But what the hell?
What the hell?
And then we'll have Baylor gets another test at Texas Tech. Baylor is also kind of, I think, overvalued a little bit, but not necessarily a team that I'm betting against as much as Kansas right now. So I pass on that one.
Now, there's a team that's not on there today, but moving forward, I don't know if you paid attention over the weekend, Pete, but Notre Dame buried Florida State. I mean, Florida State is such a different team on the road. If you ever had a Jekyll and Hyde from home and road, that is the epitome of it.
Yeah, well, Florida State has a lot of talent, a lot of depth. So in certain areas, in certain situations, that depth matters a lot more than it does in others. And I guess Notre Dame just out-talented them.
Man, they just pounded them. Yeah.
But Florida State is a team with a lot of depth. They rotate a lot of guys, so I would keep that in mind in general as far as a big key factor for them as far as covering. And then NBA, a big slate of games. Mike Brenner, I guess a lot of interesting. The first thing that jumps out at me is Dallas is just killing it. ATS 13-3. ATS, there were 3 games with no overnights that I didn't look at, and Miami
they finally lost.
Off an ATS loss.
Exactly.
Yes.
And,
but
the Miami connection down there that we remember, the guys we met out there in Punta Cana, Ray, shout out to Ray and his brother Sean. He said, he goes, Brenner, I think it was you that said somebody told him just ride it until they finally lose and then sit back. But that's maybe they overlooked that team yesterday, Pete. I'm telling you, they may have. So
I think
SMU still banned from playing in the tournament.
That's a great question. I think that's been lifted. Yeah, I think it's lifted. But that was a big thing though years ago.
Yeah,
and it lasted for a long time. Good question.
And then I think that the spot with Miami was just they were down to Brooklyn and then they came back the night before, and then I think they were just tired. Yeah. So I don't what to expect from Miami going forward. I'm not sure. They're an 8-point favorite tonight. We saw this recently with Washington. Washington's on a long ATS run, and now they've lost 4 out of the last 5 ATS. So after their ATS winning streak was broken, they've sort of gone into a little bit of an ATS tailspin. So we might see the same thing from Miami.
Good. And I'm looking forward to the show, breaking this down, going over some things.
And Charlotte, Charlotte,
Golden State,
State.
Man, I'm telling you, I felt that when they,
really
that big Memphis game on Friday was a big one. Man, I'm telling you, Pete, that team, and I don't know if you heard, but afterwards, Steve Kerr in the locker room said, everybody kept worrying about Oklahoma City. This is press conference. He said, I told our team, and he even told me, we better figure out Memphis real quick. That's our biggest problem. They already beat them twice. So it was a luck thing, but it was everything we talked about in the video.
So now this is a tough spot. They're getting, the market's catching up. They're at Denver, who is not a slouch, and they're given 11.5 points. God damn.
Denver gave Cleveland all they could handle the other day until the second half. But you know why, though? Right now, I heard as of now, Mundiay, Gallinari, Fareed, and there's one other that's out tonight. What I heard, but that could change. Because last week alone, there was 4 different games where they announced the injuries. And I don't know why they do this, and all of a sudden they just switched it. Oh, the guys are fine. They're playing. So got to be careful. This is that time of year. These coaches are going to start pulling a Popovich. Speaking of Popovich, that team's in some city. They better do some research. They better do some soul searching. Yeah, when you're losing to the New York Knicks.
Okay, I mean, it's still an NBA team, though. Sure.
Pete, but this is the things that with Tim Duncan and all, that team would not afford. And I know Gasol's out. That's hurt him. That really has hurt him because they lost a big man underneath. So and I'll give them a mulligan on that. But.
All right, and San Antonio, that was a game that didn't have an overnight line, so I didn't look at that. They're -3 at Indiana.
Well, at 46, though. He went nuts, but he can't do it all. So.
That's right. And Charlotte is a 1-9-1 against spread over their last 11. They've been absolutely horrible ATS, but they're playing Philly, and Philly, like Embiid's out.
Okafor might even be gone.
Okafor might be gone.
He's gone. Where'd he go, Maddie?
Chicago Bulls.
He did.
Okay. So
they traded Michael Carter-Williams, some scrub, and a second-round pick.
Okay, that's right. Maddie's a Bull fan.
All right, but in his place. Nerlens Noel has been productive. So Philly is still scrappy with all those youngsters. Let's see.
Nerlens Noel was a Syracuse. I think he was a product of Syracuse, wasn't he?
Look at this. Someone says, check the Wizards record first quarter, like 15 straight wins. Yes, the Wizards have.
Yeah, they do come out earlier,
yeah.
but they're on the road tonight, aren't they?
Yes, they are. No, wait.
Oh, wait, no, I think they are at home.
No,
They're at home.
They're at home.
They're at
against
OKC, though. I don't
They're
go
home
first quarter against
OKC.
Westbrook,
Yeah.
especially after Westbrook just had his lunch handed to him from Durant. God, that was ugly.
Someone asked about Ryder Fairfield. That's one that I did look at. I was leaning
What's
Ryder.
that coach's name for Ryder again?
I don't know. I was leaning 4.5.
Wizards are home here.
Yeah.
I was leaning Ryder plus 4.5. Now it's down to a 3.5. But I have no. I didn't pull the trigger on that one because
Moving on.
for lots of reasons.
There's
Lots of reasons. Let's see. Looking at the.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions about the birthday. How's the birthday?
Birthday was great. Thank you, guys. It was amazing. And I'll tell you later, Matty, Nucci was a Nucci and Eric was an Eric. So we'll go.
I didn't watch, but I saw the video, screenshot of the big grill.
Yeah, the big grill. But no, it was great. My daughter had her 7th birthday, and she really loved it. And she got a new computer, and I told her, "But you better be taking care of that thing. 1 hour a day only on the computer." Okay, Daddy. Okay, Daddy. We'll see. But thanks for asking, guys. I appreciate it. I hope everybody just had a great weekend. I don't know, Dennis. I don't know if Matt saw it, but like the other night after we knocked a couple down, this guy's like, "Okay, Brenner, now what are we doing this one? BYU," and he starts wanting to go to the next game. So I did a video. I'm like, "Bro, stop! It's time to stop. We made our money. Tomorrow's another day. If you want to invest, you got to slow down and stop. If you want to gamble, fuck it, throw it all on the game tonight. Just go for it. Spread it all over the place." It's all about that discipline, though, man. And that's
How much of that 1 hour of computer time is spent on SBR odds for?
Well, check it out. Yesterday, we were taking a family picture, right, with all the party at the party. And Nucci, my brother-in-law, went around to get the phone from Megan, and he goes, "Check it out, Megan." She was sitting in the back of our car watching Daddy on an SBR video. I swear to God. So who knows, Brianna? Yeah, Brianna doesn't watch me. She doesn't care.
All right, so we got a guy asking about Coastal Carolina and Georgia State, and that's a very interesting one. I stayed off that one. Coastal Carolina has been really good at home against the other Sun Belt teams. They just have been winning outright, but there was it was a strange line to me, and now some strange line movement. It was 1.5.
Yeah,
now it's up to 3 or 3.5. So some serious money coming in on Georgia State, and I'm going to have to look into that a little bit more. Why that would have happened? I have no idea as of yet, and that's a pass for me right now. But I got 5 plays tonight that are all kind of like each one individually is a little iffy, but they're all as a group I think somewhat solid. So hopefully I've had mostly winning days in February, so hopefully my recommendation
is where you picked it up last year too, Pistol Pete. I've had several of my Twitter followers wanted to know if you will you have any time to break down totals for tonight's slate? Yes or no?
Will I have time for it?
Will you
yes.
tweet it later?
Yes, I will, because it's such a small slate that I will be able to do that.
You heard it, guys.
So yes. But hopefully these lines won't move too much by the time I get to tweet them.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
I like that.
Well, I got a lot of
cool.
questions.
Hit us, Matty.
I don't have my little folder today, so I can't write it down. But Troy -3 something maybe.
Yeah, I mean people were at
Louisiana Monroe. I think.
ULM obviously is the dregs of the Sun Belt, but this one actually I took a shot with ULM at +3. I don't have my notes with me right here, but I did take a shot with
It's 2.5 some places.
Yes, now it's down to 2.5. I think it's a little bit trappy to just take Troy, although Troy has had some nice wins, small margin wins on the road against lower tier teams in the Sun Belt. But I took ULM at +3. I did very small. I took it small.
We get a lot of questions from our viewers about these little schools. I like that because that's a good angle.
Next.
What?
Mammoth.
Yeah, why don't we just go over the whole? Why
Sienna.
don't we just go over the whole game, the whole slate of cards? Yeah, that one is. My first thought was obviously Monmouth is the play, but then I was like, this also feels like the biggest trap of the card, so I'm going to lay off. So I did lay off it, and now in fact it is down to 2 or 2.5.
Hey, over the weekend, Iona looking really good in that division.
So now I'm going to look into that one a little bit more. I didn't pull the trigger either way as yet. Monmouth seems like the obvious play, but then it also seems like a too obvious play, and it seems very trappy. So I'm probably going to hold. And again, like I said, with the someone asked about a few days ago about the Dayton. Who was it? The Dayton.
Was it Akron and Dayton?
No. The Dayton URI game. They asked about that one, and I said that I thought that the line made sense to me, but that it was the type of game that had second half written all over it. And I did wind up tweeting out Dayton and telling people that was one that I really liked on the
And it
second
cashed.
half, and that one cashed easily. So I have the same kind of feeling with this Monmouth Siena game. A lot of times with games that are traps or look like traps, the second halves those are the kinds of games where there's big value on the second half.
Breaking it down, Pistol
So this
Pete.
Monmouth Siena game, probably going to pass on it, but it is going to be one that I'm going to be looking at particularly for second half value, just like with the Dayton and Rhode Island game that someone asked about a few days ago.
And
So
the Baylor Texas Tech game might be
same thing with that. Yes,
Yeah.
same thing with that. Also a game that probably has second half to me written all over it. And yeah, so
Matty, are there any other trades that you know about since? Because I haven't been in the loop from yesterday.
Plumlee, I don't.
Okay,
know
yeah, I
which
heard one
one.
of the Plumleys was, there was talks about it. Did he end up going somewhere?
I think so.
I think it was Denver or somebody was trying to get him yesterday, 2 days ago.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Okay, I gotta do my updates on that.
Well, today's the deadline. I don't know what time.
Oh, I
it's
thought
at.
deadline was 23rd.
Maybe I'm wrong. Plumlee to Memphis.
Okay, Plumlee went to Memphis.
For some reason, I thought it was today, but maybe it's.
Yeah, I thought it was 23rd. I may be wrong.
I say he went to Denver. I don't know.
He
He went somewhere. There are two of them, so maybe.
Yeah, there is. I was going. There's Miles, and then there's another one. There's actually three. I think was it Duke. There was 3 Plumleys total. How does Duke do that? They get all those brothers like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
all right. So is that about it? Let's wrap it up.
Let's see what else.
Small slate of stuff tonight.
Power picks, we Grammys. You guys watch the Grammys?
No,
No,
did you have something on that? Did you
Yeah,
do a
no,
video?
I mean, that was like a last minute thing that I realized I had to do. So we did. I didn't give any picks. Natalie gave picks. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
she picked a bunch of dogs. So maybe she
And
can.
she did not do well.
Oh, but
No,
I
maybe
thought
she-
you meant some.
No. Underdogs. Yeah.
You don't look like it now.
What happened?
I thought you talking about like that girl's a dog. You know?
Oh,
She
Adele,
picked a
are
bunch
you
of
kidding?
dogs. Yeah.
I mean,
No, I shouldn't make fun of her. She had a really,
Adele's annoying as hell. But she's
well,
not
she
Adele.
might be, but she
Yeah,
did a really
she's
good
hot.
George Michael last night.
Really?
And she started crying in the middle.
Yeah,
of it.
exactly.
Asked everybody to start over.
Annoying
It was
as
really
hell.
nice.
I mean,
Okay.
come on.
Well, I mean, it was
I
right in
should,
the field, so
I should start doing that. In the middle of my power pick today, I think I'm just going to start crying and then
well, you
say,
gotta
I'm
start
sorry. I'm
singing
still-
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and when you finish here right now, I got
My
a
power
message,
pick.
message for you from Morgan.
My
So it's
power
on my
pick
phone.
is, in honor of Morgan, my power pick is Morgan State because.
I love it.
I'm sorry. I
thriving, too.
need to start over. I need to start over. Morgan State is my power pick tonight. I'm sorry. I just became too overwhelmed and
Brittany and Morgan
I had
get
to
a laugh
restart.
out of this one in Chicago, baby. Yeah.
So I'm crying in the middle of the song. I'm sorry. Give me a fucking break.
Update on Oscars. Not really an update, but I saw Hacksaw Ridge.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. Wait a minute, isn't that a Clint Eastwood again?
Mel Gibson.
No, get. Ooh.
No.
That's a
That
war
was
movie, right?
good.
Okay.
Real good.
Yeah. They said I saw one special on it, like it was like I forget what they call it, a preview type thing. But they said this is one of the most impactful, one of the most true stories told about what that really happened. So
Mhm.
Like to the point where at the end, it was like a documentary. They entered like for 10 minutes. At the end, they had the real people
Wow.
talking.
that was that, and that was the real shit right there.
And like you just hear just people around me just start crying, and it was like everybody just sat there for a while after the movie was over.
Hey, he
Really
knocked
good.
it out with that. Was it Passion of the Christ he did or whatever? Remember that big thing?
Yeah.
And
I mean, look, he's a douchebag, but he's a really good director.
he is. You seen him lately though? You don't even recognize him. He's got a gray beard so big he looked like who the hell is that? You seen Mel Gibson lately?
Sure. Yeah.
You can't say fuck on Periscope.
Oh, we can't.
Oh, I mean the weekend, but apparently they can't type it. I don't know.
Oh, okay. You hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's wrap it up. We got a big day today, guys.
All right.
Thanks for everything, Matty. Anything we need to be looking out for or anything?
No, just trade deadline stuff. Keep an eye on that. Oh, the other thing is that today pitchers and catchers report for some teams. Arizona
That's right.
Diamondbacks, for example,
Jesus,
started
that's
spring
right.
training
Here it
today.
is, man. Here it is. I like
We're going
it.
to be
though.
kicking off a baseball roundtable starting.
Good.
Well, we'll do a show this week and roundtable hopefully next week with
Okay.
Drew and some of the crew.
Okay, cool.
The,
Drew will be down here in a couple weeks.
I hope so.
There he is.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks
And,
for
Can
everything.
you accept everybody on Twitter?
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
he is.
yeah.
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
Get responsible, guys, and beat your bookie. Tune in later on the Odds Couple. Okay, NBA show. Don't miss it.